Welcome. In this short video, I'm going to be talking and unpacking around the topic about if we want to have thinkers in our workforce, we've actually got to create opportunity for truthful postmortems. I work with a lot of clients and have done since 2008 who want to be able to create different thinking workforces, which create different outcomes, different growth, want to de-risk the risk. But what we find is that they actually don't have the processes and the systems in place to be able to make that just everyday part of their existence and part of their workforce reality. So what I want to take you through in this short video is share with you the 7 questions that I work through with clients early on so that we can start to craft a weekly, or it might be fortnightly, or you might want it monthly. You can insert your time limit, but something regular, something consistent around a truthful, constructive, insightful postmortem that teams can work through together. That really does make a difference to how people are thinking and then actually doing back in the workplace, both individually in their own role, but as a team. Now, a couple of, I suppose, points that I want to make before we get started on this is that you do need to be very clear with your team around your intent and your agenda and motive around introducing this experience to the group. It is a very different way of thinking for a large number of businesses. I'd say only a very few would do it in this way. And so stating your intent, the benefit of being able to be part of this and how you want to use the feedback is going to be incredibly important. So that is, pardon me, a word of caution that I do want to give you around this is that you're not just going to jump in and introduce a very insightful, truthful postmortem without setting the scene around those key areas. So please make sure intent, purpose, reason, benefit, and how you use this intel to make a different business is going to be very, very important that you state that clearly with the team before you jump into this. So we might do another piece of work around that. So I'm just going to refer to this list because I don't want to miss anything as well too. So the focus of a weekly postmortem, there are 7 key areas that I want to share with you today. So number 1, we want people to start to think about what worked well. So depending on the time frame that you want to put around this, it might be weekly, fortnightly, monthly. What worked well and why do they think that did, both as a team and as individuals? That's the first area. The second one will be what's actually had what's our impact been on our business? So in terms of our clients, our communities, our stakeholders, what type of positive impact have we had since we last met and why is that? Number 3 is an individual question. What have people been most excited about what they're working on and what they're doing at the moment and why is that? That's important for people to also, this is a holistic oversight of the business. It's not all doom and gloom and it's not all success either. It needs to be a balanced insight between both of those. And as I said, innovation, I always talk about it, does come from a different way and process of thinking and designing a response to gaps, threats and risk. And that is a completely different skill set. And I love working in that space. So you'll get lots of good intel in that area from watching these videos and working with us. So point 4 is important as part of a post-mortem. So we set it up, we look at what's working, we look at our impact, what are we excited about, but then we also talk about what didn't go to plan and why. And this is particularly critical because we don't find new opportunities for growth if we're always slapping ourselves on the back and saying how awesome we are. We've been told, and I think it's quite counterintuitive to always focus on strengths. Strengths are great and you can nurture those, but you're not going to be able to create an exponentially different business or career from always focusing on what you're good at. So we want to open up honest, respectful, truthful conversation around what didn't go right and why, and what would they do different? What would the team do different if it's a team matter? Or if it's the individual, what would the individual do different too to be able to bring a different outcome? Now, the leaders also participate in this. So I do want to say no one is excluded from this post-mortem and the leaders actually kick it off. So that is everyone's got buy-in and everyone has to be accountable for their involvement in this process as well too. We also look at lessons learned. So we don't just say, well, that was rubbish. That didn't work as we thought it would. Nothing to see here, move on. That's success bias. what we do look at is any valuable insights. So what did we learn? So this starts to change the game a lot, because it makes people not ashamed of when things didn't go right. It makes people not so fearful when they thought it was going to work and it didn't. This is positive. This is about saying, what did you learn? How would you use that insight differently? So it's not mentioning the F word. It's not mentioning failure. You tried and it didn't work. And now we're going to do something different, but we're not going to move on without dissecting and assessing why not, and what parts can we take from that experience to create different in that business. Point 6, as part of a postmortem, is any other feedback and insights, good, bad and ugly, from our clients, so, or even from suppliers, from our stakeholders. What are we hearing on the ground there? What are we hearing, seeing that's changing as well too, that we need to be mindful of as we move forward? And then the final part, part 7, is incredibly important, and that's opening up the floor to the team to have a discussion, and a truthful, insightful one around, are there gaps, threats and risks that we're seeing that might be new since we last got together, or that we're seeing are emerging that we need to be on the front foot for, not when it hits us and it's way too late then. I talk about that in other videos, the cost, both financially, both in terms of mental well-being of your team, is too great. You cannot wait until it comes, right? So you need to be acting sort of with that sense of urgency without actually having to go through it. So gaps, threats and risks, things that are changing, potential and real. So please go back, think about how you can use this. We use it to make sure that people are always thinking, always reflecting, always sharing intel, be it good, bad or otherwise, however you see it, that will be your choice, but there's opportunity in this as well too. So take it back, enjoy it, but remember, set up the intent and purpose. We would love your ideas, your comments, your feedback on the question that we always attach to our short video. Give it to us in the most loving way, of course. And I look forward to seeing you next time. If you're a pro member, you will get this checklist. You'll get the detailed notes with this video, so you can engage with it again too, and take that back into your business and use it to benefit you. So have a great day. I do look forward to seeing you at one of our different types of experiences. So thank you.